Okay, this Unit 2 workbook is going to be recorded for Mr. Ramirez. Do you accept, Gabo, to record your class for Chuy?
Yes, teacher, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay, good, good. Thank you. Let me share the screen again. So here we are. I'm not going to say anything. You are the one who is going to speak because my throat is sore,
Don't worry, teacher.
and
Yes,
you
I
are
stand.
going to work.
I
Um,
stand.
okay, you said already, what do you do? And here you have six
First,
six phrases that match with these six phrases. Tell me the first one. Read it. Read it. Number one, a
uh,
cashier, letter D,
he
takes money
takes
and
money
gives
and
change.
gives change.
Okay? Now, what do you say for a vendor?
A vendor sells things.
Sells things. What letter is it?
Is C.
It's letter C. You're right. Continue with the next one.
A babysitter
A babysitter.
takes care of children.
You are right. It's this one. Number three takes care of children. Continue.
A doctor
A doctor. What does a doctor do?
helps sick people.
You are right. Helps sick people. Continue, please. A tutor.
A tutor helps students with their schoolwork.
Their schoolwork. Continue, please.
A pet sitter
A pet sitter
takes care of animals.
takes care of animals. Letter B. You're right. So takes care of animals. It's okay. It's the same as a babysitter, but a babysitter takes care of, children.
Yes,
And a pet sitter would be exactly the same, but, well, for animals, okay? For pets.
yes.
Now, write using
Sentences use.
he or she, right? So what do you say for number one? Can you read it completely, please? Number one. Let me.
I'm I'm
Uh-huh.
a mechanic.
Okay, you are a mechanic
I fix cars. I work in a garage.
in a garage. You can say
Garage.
garage or garage, okay? You can find dual pronunciation, garage or garage. I don't know why, but some
Garage.
people pronounce different. Okay, now that's good. What do you say about number two?
I'm a cook. I cook food. I work in a restaurant.
Okay, you cook food,
Yes.
you work in a restaurant, okay? But in
Yes.
this case, observe that if you say you say I cook food. But according to this, you have to use he or she. So what do you say here?
She.
She. Oh, so can you repeat that again? She?
She's a cook.
Okay, she's a cook.
She's cook food. She cook cook
Cooks.
cooks cooks.
Cooks food.
She cooks food. She works in a restaurant.
Okay, good. You have to add a final S here, and say she is, huh? Because this is a woman, you see? Okay,
Yes.
so let me delete all the notes here, if it is possible. No, I cannot delete the notes. I suppose that I could delete the notes, but let's close all of these windows. Hmm? Okay, let's continue with the next exercise right down here. Number three. Can you please read number three?
3. I'm a maths teacher. I teach maths to students. I work in a school.
Okay, now you say she.
She's a math teacher. She teaches maths to students.
Repeat it after me, please. Teaches. Teaches. Because
Teaches.
you have to add es. Okay, repeat it again. She teaches math to students.
She teaches math to students.
Okay, continue with she.
She works in a school.
Good, good. Continue with this. What do you
I'm
say?
a taxi driver. I drive a car. I take people to place they want to go.
Repeat it after me. Places.
Place,
Places. Remember this.
place.
House, houses. Place, places. Watch, watches. Okay? In this
Okay.
case, okay? Now, what do you say here?
He's a taxi driver. He drives a car. He takes people to places they want to go.
Okay, remember, he takes, he drives, he is. Okay, good. Let's
Yes.
continue. No more here, only four. Let's go to the next page, page number 8. So, you are the one who is going to say all the words, okay, here. Observe, what do you see here? Is he a plumber? Is he
Uh, a
what is a construction worker? Is he?
maybe.
Maybe he's a construction worker, right? Because he's building something, right? In a house or in a building.
He's a carpenter.
He's a carpenter because he's working with wood. Probably, okay. So he's a carpenter. Now, observe. Work, oh, sorry. Write a or n in the correct places. Remember plus singular noun before a consonant noun. Remember this. Use n plus singular noun before a vowel sound. A-E-I-O-U. Okay? He's a
Okay.
carpenter. He is an accountant. Is he an accountant? No, he isn't. He is a
Okay.
good carpenter. Observe, a good. You see that there is a consonant? You say, good. But if you say, he's an expensive accountant, okay? And expensive,
Okay.
expensive starts with a letter, a vowel, okay? With an E. Do not use a or n plus plural nouns, okay? No a, no n, okay? They are good carpenters, okay? Observe the plural, no add. You don't say a or n here. They are expensive accountants. You don't say a or n here because this is plural, okay? A or n is only for singular, okay? Now, let's practice a little bit here. Can you read number 1 and you tell me what should you add in certain or before certain nouns like construction company or construction company, yeah, or carpenter? You say he's a carpenter. You add a or n according to the situation. But when you say he builds schools and houses, you do not add a. No, no, you don't use a or n because schools and houses are in plural, okay? Now, can you read the whole sentence? Imagine that they didn't have but now you say Repeat it. Come on, repeat number 1.
He's a carpenter. He works for a construction company. He builds school and houses.
Okay, repeat it for me. Builds,
Builds
schools,
schools
and houses.
and houses.
That's good. Okay. Now, can you complete, if it is necessary, the use of a or n in
Okay.
any case? In number 2, can you read it all?
She's an office manager.
Okay,
She
good.
works.
And office manager. And here. Okay?
Okay.
And here. Okay? Good. Continue. Is there anything additional?
She works for a large company.
Okay, a large company. A large company is here. You see? Okay,
Okay.
continue with the next one.
It's an interesting job.
Okay, it's an interesting job. Excellent. Okay, no problem. Read it completely. That read them all the sentences completely. One, two, three, four sentences. And
Okay.
I'm going to open one here. What is it here?
He works in a restaurant.
Good. You say a restaurant. This is the first one. Continue with the rest.
He's server.
Mistake. What is a mistake?
He's a server.
A server. A server. He's a server. Okay?
Okay. He also a part-time student.
Okay. He's also a part-time student. You have to add a. He's
Yes.
also a part-time student.
So
Okay?
okay.
Continue with the next one.
He takes a bonus uh, science class in interesting in the in yeah. He takes a science class in a in the evening.
In the evening. In the evening. When you pronounce a, you have to say a business. Here, a business. Pronounce business.
Business.
Business. A business class. He takes a business class in the evening. I don't know what happened to you pronouncing this. Repeat it after me. He works in, no, is this the one number three? Yeah,
Mhm.
repeat it. He works in a restaurant. He works in a restaurant.
He works in a restaurant.
He's a server. He's a
He's a
server.
server.
Okay. He also he's also a part-time student. He's also a part-time student.
He's also a part-time student.
He takes a business class in the evening.
He takes a business class in the evening.
In the evening. Observe,
In
when
the
you have a
evening.
vowel here, you have to pronounce the. When you have no vowel but a consonant, you pronounce the. The. For example, let me tell you an example where you can find the. I don't see any. There is no the. Okay, yeah. In the evening here, but the. No, there is no the. No the. Sorry. No, there is no the. Imagine that you have the the when it is the and you follow a consonant, you have to pronounce the. But when you have a vowel, you have to say the, like in the evening. Okay, let's continue with number 4. Can you read it all? What is missing?
She works for a travel company.
Repeat travel. For a travel company. She works for a travel company. Okay? A travel company. She works for a travel company. Continue. What is next?
She arranges tour.
She arranges tours. Is it necessary to add a here? Is it necessary to add a here?
No,
No, because it is. It is.
only.
It is plural. Plural.
Okay.
She arranges tours. Repeat it after me. Arranges.
She arranges
Arranges chores. Okay, continue.
tours.
What is next?
She's a travel agent.
Agent. She's a
Agent.
travel agent. Okay, you complete this. She's a travel agent. Good. Continue with the last one, number 5.
Uh, he has a difficult job.
Very well. He has a difficult job. Continue. What is next?
He's a flight attendant.
He's a flight attendant. That's good. He's a flight attendant. Okay. Continue with the next one. What is next?
He works on an airplane.
On an airplane. On an airplane. You say
He
airplane
works
because,
on an airplane.
okay, good. Now, good. Let me continue with the next exercise, number 4. Can you read the instructions?
Choose some in your family.
Someone in your
Write,
family?
write about his or her job.
Okay. In this case, it is necessary for you to write in advance, okay? For example, if you were talking about your father, huh? What would you
Okay.
say? What would you say?
His job, uh, administration.
He is an administrator. He is an
He's
administrator,
administrator.
okay? Where
He,
does he work? Tell me, where does your father work?
he's administrator.
Okay, he's an administrator, but he works in a company, he works on the street, he works at
Uh,
home, he works online in
he
his computer.
he
He works,
clinic administration.
okay, he works on a clinic okay, he works on the administration of a clinic, okay, on the clinic
Yeah,
administration, right? So
yeah,
is he like an accountant, or what does he do? He supplies, I think he supplies things
yes,
for clinics, for hospitals and clinics, for doctors and for nurses. For example, if a nurse or a doctor needs
is
a
the contact,
stethoscope, for
is
example,
the contact.
if the doctor needs a stethoscope, okay, he will find it, right? If a chemist needs a
Yeah,
microscope, probably he will get it, right? He works. Okay, the idea is that you're going to write about your fathers or your brothers or your sisters or your mom's job or whatever, right? So
yes,
it is not a good idea to do it by heart. I mean, it's not a good idea to do this without plans. You have to think and write. Think and write. So it would be a good idea if you do it later, right? Not now, because you are improvising. What is improvising? Improvising means you say whatever you think at the moment, okay? In a
yes,
moment. So I don't want you to improvise. I want you to think and stop thinking, and then you write. You write one sentence in order, in a correct order, and you write not only one, but 2, 3, 4 sentences that describe your father's or your mother's job, or your brothers or your sisters, if you have sisters or brothers, or your uncle's job, okay?
all right,
And you mention everything, but this is not a good idea to do this exercise improvising. No improvising. It's not good. Let me continue with the next page of the workbook. Here you have to complete the conversations with the correct words. What are the words? Verbs. You see, in parentheses, you have third person singular or do or does. I, you, he, she. Depending on the subject, you have to use do or does. Depending on the subject, you have to use like or likes. Depending on the subject, you have to use work or works. You know that. Tell me, what is the conversation between Tiffany and Kate? Could you please start reading?
What does your brother do exactly?
Do. What does your brother do exactly? Continue with the next one.
He works for the city. He's a firefighter.
Okay, he works this one for the city. Remember to pronounce correctly the final S. Works. Okay. What is next?
How does he like it? He like it.
Okay. How does he like it? How does he like it? So you say does and like. How does he like it? Good. Continue.
Yes. It's an interesting job. He
It's an
likes it very much.
he likes it. He likes it very much. Okay. Continue with the next one. What is it?
It's an interesting job. Sorry. But he works long hours.
Okay.
Uh, what do you do?
And what do you do? In this case, is you say, what do you do? It's correct. So, works in the previous one, and what do you do in the next one? What do you say for the next one?
I'm a student. I study geography.
Oh, geography. Pronounce geography.
Geography.
I study.
Geography.
I study geography. Okay, continue with the next one. What is it?
Oh, really? Where do you to school?
Where
Where
do
do
you
you
go?
go to
Where
school?
do you go? Do you go to school? Where do you go to school? Hmm? Where do you
I
go to school?
go. I go to Matthew City.
Matthew
Matthew's University.
University. I go to Matthews University. Go.
University.
Continue.
My brother goes there too.
My brother goes there too. My brother is he, so you say goes. For you, you say I go. For your brother, you say my brother goes there too. Okay. Continue with the next one. What is it? Really?
Oh, really? What does he study?
What does he
Study.
study?
He studies graphic design.
Graphic design. He studies graphic design. Okay, good, good. Okay, now that sounds interesting. Okay, let's close all these windows here we have. Okay, let's close them and let's continue with the next exercise. Exercise 6, complete the questions in this conversation. Observe there is a conversation between Ray and Tom. Tom and Ray. Look at them. Where are they? What are they doing? They
Hmm.
are like being transported by what is called, what do you call that here in Mexico? Do you know?
No, teacher, I don't know.
It's something like a cable car that you have there in Venezuela from Merida State, from Merida City to Pico Espejo, Bolivar Peak. But there is no cable car. You know what they have? They are going to ski, look, they are going to
Yes.
ski up there on the mountain. And they are
Polski.
going to be transported by this cable, cable system that it
They're
goes up.
gonna.
Como tiraleja, tiralejo, algo así. It is called like that, but it is not the same because the tiraleja is to be transported by yourself by grasping your hands and moving rapidly. But this is not for the same. This is for transporting you to ski or up in the mountain. You see? Look at the skis. Okay? Now, observe. You're going to complete the questions in this conversation. Here you have the answer. Pay attention to the answers. Observe, this is a place, a company. You say, where do you work? I work for Brady Corporation. What is the question? If the answer, Ray's answer is, I'm an accountant. What is the question from Tom?
What do you do there?
What do you do there? It's correct. When you ask, what do you do there? The answer is I am an accountant. Okay. Now, an
Okay.
accountant.
Hometown.
Okay, I've
How
said
do
the
you like
answer.
it?
How do you like it? I
I
like
like
numbers. How do you like it? How do you like it? And you say, I like numbers. Okay, it's great. It's,
what do you do?
what do you do? Okay, Tom is not an accountant. Tom is a teacher. You see, what do you do? I'm a teacher, says Tom.
Yes.
I'm a teacher. What do you say? You're right.
Really?
Really?
What do you do?
Oh, no. In this case, is what do you teach? So that the
Ah,
answer is accounting. You see?
okay.
What do
Yes.
you teach?
Teach.
Okay? What do you teach? I teach accounting. You understand?
Yes.
Okay. If you ask me, what do you teach?
What do you teach?
I teach English. Ask me, do you teach mathematics? Ask me.
Do you teach mathematics?
No, that's too difficult for me. I don't like mathematics. You understand?
Yes, yes.
This is difficult for me. I don't like numbers. No, not at all. Okay, let's continue with the next page. Page number 10. Observe. Here you are. Interesting jobs. Interesting jobs. Read these two interviews. Answer the questions. Today, job talk interviews two people with interesting jobs. Okay, who are they? Look at their jobs, huh? Can you please
Yes.
read? Can you please read? Job talk.
Oliver, where do you work? Well, I guess I work in the sky. In
I
the
guess.
sky,
I guess.
I guess.
In
In
the
the sky.
sky.
What do you do? I'm a flight attendant. I work on the international flight from Miami to Recife, Brazil. That's really interesting. What do you like best about your job? I really like to travel and to meet people. So my job is perfect for me. Do you speak Portuguese? I speak a little. I carry my dictionary everywhere I go.
Very good. Very good. Okay, now observe the interview with talk, job talk, and Lucy. Job talk
Lucy.
is the name of a person here. Okay, now job
Yes.
talk.
What do you do, Lucy? I'm a security guard at Matthew University. That sounds difficult. What is the hardest things about your job? Well, people break the rules at the university, and I have to stop them.
Okay, pay attention. Rules. Repeat the rules. Rules.
Rules,
You say the
rules.
rules. The rules are the norms. You know what the norms are? Huh?
Yes,
Okay. Now, what do you say? What does Lucy say then? Okay.
yes.
Okay. What does Chop
Uh,
Top say?
are people friendly to you?
Unfriendly.
Sometimes, but most of the students are very nice. And what do you like best about your job? Well, someday the university is quiet,
Quiet. Repeat.
quiet,
Quiet. Quiet means
quiet,
silent. Quiet. Okay.
quiet. I
I,
get to read a lot
a
of
lot
books.
of books. Many books. I get to read a lot of books. Okay. When the
Yes.
university is silent, quiet. When it is calm. Okay. Now, could you please answer these questions which are related to these two interviews, okay? Job talk is like the person who is in charge of a program. Job talk is the person who is in charge of a program of interviews. What does Oliver do? What does Oliver do?
He's a flight attendant.
You are right. He is a flight attendant. Good. Now, where does he work? Observe,
He
where does he
works
work?
in sky.
He works in the sky. He works in the sky. Okay, good. He
Yeah.
works in the sky. Why does he work in the sky? It says that he works in the international flight from Miami to Recife, Brazil. Okay? That
Yes.
is an international flight. Huh? He
Okay.
works in an international flight from Miami to Recife, Brazil. But he says, I work in the sky. Okay? He says, I
Yes.
work in the sky. I can say, but this is just a joke, like a carrilla here in Mexico. Okay?
El
But
chalequeo.
okay, chalequeo, you say in Venezuela. The next one, number 3. What do you say? Ask a question.
How does Oliver learn Portuguese?
Okay, how does he learn Portuguese?
Uh, a little.
A little.
He little.
He speaks a little. How does
Yeah.
Oliver learn Portuguese? How does he learn
He
it?
carries his dictionary everywhere
Ah, he search
he
out in the
goes.
dictionary. Okay,
Yes.
he carries the dictionary and he search out the information in the dictionary. He gets the answers in the dictionary. He searches his dictionary. He studies by using a dictionary. Okay, he carries his
Yes.
dictionary here and there, everywhere he goes. He says, okay, remember that this. Okay, what do you say for number 4?
For what does Lucy do?
Okay, we're talking about the lady over here. What does she
Uh,
do?
he works in Matthews University.
But what does she do
Uh,
exactly?
uh, she's a security guard.
A security guard. Okay. Lucy is a security guard. She is a security guard. Okay. Now, the other question is, where does she work? Where does she work?
He works in Matthews University.
At Matthews University. At. She
At
works at. When you say in, it doesn't mean that she has to be inside the building. She could be around the building. This is why you use at instead of saying in. She works at. She's a security guard. And where does she work? She works at Matthew University. You see, at.
yes.
In, not necessarily, because a security guard could be in the building, and a security guard could be around the building, in front of the building, behind the building, everywhere, here and there. Okay, what is the hardest part of her job? What is the hardest part of her job?
Uh,
The
sound
most
difficult.
difficult, the most difficult part of her job.
Um, is easy.
It's easy? Is it easy? But there is a
Yes.
hardest part. What is the hardest part? What is the hardest thing about
Is
her
difficult.
job? Huh? What is it? The hardest part is this one. People break the rules, and she has to make people obey the rules. Like
Okay.
this. Like this. Don't throw paper on the floor. If you are eating chewing gum, don't throw the chewing gum on the floor. You understand? Don't
Yes.
walk on the grass. And, on the grass. Or keep
Yes.
it, keep the bathrooms clean. If people disobey, you know what happens? Hmm? And she
Okay.
has to make people obey the rules. Okay, this is what is here. What is the hardest part of her job? She has to make people obey the rules. The hardest part of a job is when she has to stop people. Hey, wait a minute. From breaking the rule. You cannot do that. It's hard. It's difficult to stop
Yes.
people because people can say this. Who are you to tell me that? Huh? I am a teacher here. Imagine that a teacher says that. No,
Yeah.
no. Or I study here and I pay your salary. You know that there are
No.
people. Or there is someone with a gun and says, who are you? And kill you. A security guard could have probably had no guns. No guns. No, no. To defeat it at the university is really difficult. Okay, really difficult. Now, meet Patricio. Write questions about him using what, where, when, or how. What would you ask Patricio? What does he
uh,
do?
what his name?
Okay, what is his name? Another one.
Uh,
Where does Patricio work? Does he work at the hospital?
yeah.
Uh-huh. Is he a nurse? Does he work in the morning? Does he work in the afternoon? Does he work at night? You can ask many questions about Patricio, but you can say right questions about him using what, where,
Where do
when,
you
and
live?
how. Okay, what do you do? What does Patricio do?
Where
Okay.
does he live?
Where does he live? Where does he work? Okay. When does
Where
he
does he born?
Okay. When does he go to his job? How does he like it? Look at his face. Does he like it? I think he does like it. Okay? You understand?
Yes.
The idea is that you write questions here which are similar to the questions we have already done before. Okay, let's continue with number 11 on page 11. This is the last page, I think, for this workbook. No, we have two additional pages. And this is the time we're up now because it's too late. Okay,
Yes, teacher,
but
don't worry.
we have done 4 pages of a book. 1, 2, 3, and 4 pages is enough for one day. But remember that this is an activity that you should be
Yes,
planning and
yes.
writing and doing at home, thinking on your own, And it would
Yes.
be a good idea if we continue doing this in our next class, probably this. And well, if you want, and if Chuy wants, we can continue here on Monday. If you want on Monday, if Chuy and you decided to do it, we can do it on Monday. Monday, what is the date on Monday? Tell me. What is the date on Monday?
Day is 13
Remember that you have to mention
March,
first that
March,
uh
March 13, 2022.
isn't it 14? Isn't it 14? If it is on Monday, today is
On
Wednesday, today
Monday.
is Friday 11, tomorrow is Saturday 12, on Sunday is 13, and on Monday is Monday 14th. So it's Monday 14th, okay? Monday 14th, 2022, okay? So this would be the
Okay.
date 14th. There is a 4 I'm omitted here. 14th, okay? You see? Okay, 2022.
Okay.
Okay, and let's leave this for today. And if you want to continue here, we can continue here on page 11 of the workbook. I'm going to write it down here because sometimes I get confused. What did I teach today? And I write it here on Monday. hmm, I write it here student. No, it's not a student book, it's workbook and page 11. Okay, page 11. I write it here at 10 minutes after 7, we are going to study the workbook on page 11. If you want, if you don't want to do it, all we have to do is to continue on a Kahoot game if you want. I had already prepared the Kahoot game here. Do you want to see the Kahoot game I was preparing? It's
See,
over
teacher?
here. It's over here. But I was preparing to have you here. Here is the Kahoot game that corresponds to units number 1 and 2. If you want, I'm going to send you this Kahoot game so that you can manage to do it on the weekend. And on Monday, we play it. Okay? So you have a
Okay.
competition, a contest between Chuy and you and me. Okay? Why not?
Okay. Okay,
It would
teacher.
be a good idea. So this is going to be your homework, okay? And on
Okay.
Monday, we continue with unit number 3, if you want. Unit number 3. So I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'm going to tell you, have a nice weekend,
Good
and
night,
sweet
teacher.
dreams, and good night,
See you
okay?
on Monday.
See you on Monday. Bye-bye.